Welcome! 22 out of 32 new combat helicopters arrive in the Philippines, surprising Asia. As part of its continuing need to improve its mobility capabilities to address the lack of enough air assets and the aging of existing air assets, the Philippine Air Force, PAF, raised the requirement for the acquisition of a second batch of S-70I Black Hawk Combat Utility Helicopters, CUH, to replace the retired fleet of Bell UH-1D/H Huey, and complement the existing fleet of Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk and Bell 412EP Combat Utility Helicopters operated by the PAF's 205th Tactical Helicopter Wing. This led to the additional utility helicopters, S-70I Black Hawk, acquisition project, which is being pursued as part of the second list of Horizon 2 phase projects of the revised AFP Modernization Program, RAFPM. The project may be alternatively called as the Combat Utility Helicopter, Phase 4, Acquisition Project. Combat Utility Helicopter, Phase 4, Acquisition Project. Note: edited as of December 9, 2024. End user: Philippine Air Force, 205th Tactical Helicopter Wing. Quantity: 32 helicopters. Modernization phase: second list of Horizon 2 phase of RAFPM. Project ABC, PHP 32, 000, 000, 000.00 PHP 31, 753, 846, 153.00. Acquisition mode: negotiated procurement, government to government, with Polish government, with U.S. government approval. SARO release: SARO BMB DE 21-00138898 dated December 27, 2021 worth PHP 1, 600, 000, 000.00 for 5% of contract sum as initial payment. SARO BMB DE 22-00064442 dated August 8, 2022 worth PHP 3, 980, 800, 000.00 for 12.5% of the contract sum as second MYOA milestone payment. SARO BMB DE 23-001742 dated May 25, 2023 released May 25, 2023 worth PHP 4, 128, 000, 000.00 for 13% of contract sum as third MYOA milestone payment. SARO BMB DE 24-000866 dated March 4, 2024 worth PHP 8, 256, 000, 000.00 for 26% of contract sum as fourth MYOA milestone payment. Winning proponent: Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation, thorough its Polish subsidiary PZL Milek. Product for delivery: Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk International. Contract price: approximate PHP 31, 753, 846, 153.00. First post by Max Defense, January 23, 2021. Decision to acquire Morris 70I Black Hawk helicopters made as the PAF was forced to retire its fleet of UH-1 Huey helicopters after several accidents between 2019 to 2020. SARO for 5% initial funding was released on December 27, 2021, with NOA released in favor of PZL Milek on December 28, 2021, and contract signing most likely made January or February 2022. Second MYOA SARO released on August 8, 2022, third MYOA SARO on May 25, 2023, and fourth MYOA SARO on March 4, 2024. Delivery of first batch of 5 helicopters have been delayed, and it is expected that PZL Milek will push through with this within second quarter of 2024. First batch of 5 helicopters delivered on June 17, 2024, while second batch of 5 helicopters were delivered on December 9, 2024. Overview: the Philippine Air Force decided to retire its fleet of Bell UH-1 Huey combat utility helicopters after several fatal and non-fatal crashes between 2019 to 2020. The Philippine Air Force has been using the Bell UH-1 Huey for decades, with the first unit said to have entered service with the PAF in 1967, with the first four UH-1D transferred from the United States. More than 100 more units arrived over the next 4 decades, mostly with the newer and improved UH-1H Huey. Despite the high number of units delivered, The PAF only has less than 40 units in service by 2010. While the PAF acquired the PZL Swidnik W-3A Sokol, Bell 412EP and the Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk in its earlier CUH acquisitions, the PAF's recent acquisition of Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk helicopters was found to be the most logical choice for repeat orders. This was due to their capability vis-a-vis their price, support by the Polish government, and previous issues with the W-3A Sokol's design and performance. While the Bell 412 remains a viable option, the previous issues that led to the cancellation of the acquisition of 16 Bell 412 EPI in favor of the S-70I Black Hawk remains a roadblock, as the acquisition of 32 more helicopters still falls within the administrations of both Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Sikorsky's Polish subsidiary, PZL Milek, was able to completely deliver the 16 S-70I Black Hawk helicopters to the PAF as of November 2021, and with the entire procurement as very satisfactory. A decision to pursue additional S-70I Black Hawk helicopters was decided by the PAF's Technical Working Group, with negotiations proceeding in early 2021. The Department of National Defense expects a Notice of Award, NOA, and contract signing to be made by January 2022, and start of deliveries to proceed by late 2023 or early 2024. Max Defense Philippine sources confirmed that the Philippine Air Force submitted a report to Senate on the status of their UH-1 Huey helicopter fleet, and certain senators have committed to support the acquisition of replacement helicopters. Support for funding for more or less 40 new combat utility helicopters have been made by certain senators to be included in the FY 2022 defense budget. Funding for another 20 helicopters was also committed by these senators at a later date. The Department of National Defense has signed an implementing agreement of defense acquisition with its Polish counterpart on April 7, 2021, which was meant to support the acquisition of more S-70I Black Hawk helicopters from Sikorsky's Polish subsidiary PZL Milek. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana confirmed that the Department of Budget Management, DBM, has approved the release of PHP 32 billion for the acquisition of 32 Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk combat utility helicopters for the Philippine Air Force from Sikorsky's Polish subsidiary PZL Milek. This is an additional project under the second list of Horizon 2 phase. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana mentioned during the contract signing of the Corvette acquisition project that they are expecting the contract signing for the acquisition of 32 Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk combat utility helicopters for the Philippine Air Force to be happening by January 2022. He also said that this project, together with the OPV acquisition project of the Philippine Navy, could be among the last AFP modernization projects to be signed under the Duterte administration. The Department of Budget Management, DBM, has released a new SARO dated December 27, 2021 with an amount of PHP 1.6 billion for the initial funding requirements of the project.